Palamenti etabukidde Attorney General olwa lipoota gy'aleese ng'ayogera ku by'okwewandiisa oba kutereza enkalala z'abalonzi. Abaka Palamenti bagambidde nti nno ebyuma ebyaleeteddwa okukozesebwa mu kutereza enkalala z'abalonzi bifuba efufulufu tebikola ate badiso bagiso ba iso bagwaso bagose begeso basaba abantu ssente okubawandiisa ekitali ekikontana n'amateeka era nga wano namusabe tukidde ku nnyoge anti birabe.
On the 21st, that's the first day of the beginning of the National Voters Register, I went to my parish, Odonga Parish. I was told the team was not in my parish. They were seated at the sub-county headquarters, and all of them. My observation number one was that it's one old machine that was being used, with all the parish electoral officers seated waiting for the same machine. Number two was that there was no register that was delivered to the polling station for me to verify my name in. Number three is that as a district in this country without electricity, it was relying on a battery. And the battery was running out every 2 hours and required to be charged. The feedback from the community is that one, we needed more machines. Two, this exercise needed to really be in the parish as planned. And three, sufficient power be provided for those districts without power. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Talinga, Honorable Rebiambo.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. I want to thank the Honourable Minister for the submission about this voter registration exercise. Electronic equipment is assigned years in which to serve. And I have heard him talk about those procured in 2014. So surely, these must have become obsolete by this time. And therefore, we don't expect good results from these machines. Two, what happens between collaboration between the ministries? We've just finished a national census. What happens to that equipment that was being used by UBOS? Why can't it be deployed for this purpose? Thirdly, what about the students who have already gone back to school? How will they update? Fourthly, what happens to those areas where we have sung over years and years, especially my constituency, where electricity has remained a thorn, a sore, and it has not been extended? How do we continue to update the registers? And lastly, given that the machines are very few, as he has said, they expected 5,000, they received only 2,000, not even half. Therefore, people have to commute long distances to go for this registration. And an average person takes over 10 minutes. I anticipate that the time assigned will not be enough to complete this exercise. So in anticipation, I beg that this time is extended. Thank you for the opportunity.
Barara Busia Agago.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to first of all thank you for welcoming my people in the gallery who are from my district and my established skilling centers. I thank you. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the Honourable Minister for the statement. Yesterday, as I was coming back from the constituents, I passed by Mbarara district headquarters, now located at Wizwera, after seeing so many people crowded, and I wanted to know what was happening. I witnessed it myself, that very many people were gathered there and not being worked on. And not because the people who are working on them did not want, but the process is very, very slow. I entered and asked the girl that was working on the machine, and she told me they can only work on only 50 people per day. Very many people were already gathered outside, and majority of them were youths already shouting. We tried to gather them, and I tried to speak to them. And we agreed that every day, since they already know that they are working on only 50 to 60 people, they should only register those on a paper, that they should register only those on paper, the power is back. So I was saying that we had agreed with those people not to make people get tired of the exercise, because people coming there very early in the morning and spend the whole day there, and in the evening they are told to go back because they are only working on 50 people, will make people hate the exercise. Secondly, most of our parish headquarters have no electricity. So all people who were going to the parishes, they were bouncing back to where electricity is. And that one, at the end of it all, people were like, they would rather register me from here instead of going to where there is no electricity. At the end of it all, we will find at the polling date, people are not in their respective parishes because they were compelled to register where electricity was. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Busia.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Minister for the statement. Honorable Speaker, I've just landed from the border. I was there mobilizing for this exercise from Busia border. I've been mobilizing for this exercise, Right Honorable Speaker. I got three concerns. First was electricity. Many stations lack electricity. So people bounced and referred to far places. And my voters were complaining. Most of them said, Honorable shall not go there unless you get first means of transport, which I wouldn't afford to transport those people to those stations. Secondly, our concern was registers. Some areas, when I went there to find out, registers were not there on those areas, stations. Also, I failed to check my name up to now, and I left home when I've not checked my name. I'm not a Kenyan, Right Honorable. So that's the second issue. I think those are the concerns I got from my area. Thank you.
Agago.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, whereas I concur with many other issues that have been raised by our colleagues, I want to address my mind on one very important issue regarding which I experienced in the last elections and the other one, where voters move from one polling station to another polling station looking for their names so that they can do the voting. And it is because of lack of preparation. And the way I'm seeing this exercise is being done, that tells us the similar occurrence is going to take place. In my constituencies, where they are also sharing those kits, it is alarming because our sub-counties are just a very huge one, even in the parishes. For example, like Kuyue sub-county, where I come from. In Kuyue sub-county, we are sharing the kit with Kalon Town Council. And yet, Kuyue sub-county, we have more than 6 parishes, which those parishes are even bigger than some of the parishes, some sub-counties. So, this is a clear sign that even the time given is not going to be enough. Number 2, I wonder why NERA, each time our pupils and students, when they reach a certain age of their age, they are being registered for ID. Registration always takes place. And it is the same NERA that have the ability and the official work that you are giving them to contain this register. Now, why don't we have an automatic update? Automatic update. You have reached 17, you have already got the ID, you have reached 17, now somebody is 18, and again you still need somebody to go and take the pictures. If those register, those names can be brought forward and they just go and check, it saves us a lot of money and time. I have gone to check on my names, they are not there. Because the register's book also is not there. And you know what happened to Honorable Minister Norbert Mao some time back. You are here, your name you don't check because the register book is not there, you find it's not there during time of voting. And you'll see how you're going to miss even coming to contest again. So, finally, this is a time where we can make correction where necessary. My parishes are always very big. Why don't we, the Electoral Commission, consider putting in polling stations? Because in other places you find in a parish, there's 1 polling station. And yet the distance people move so that they can go to do voting is more than even 5 kilometers for somebody to access the polling stations. Can we, in this process, as they are working out, they map out a parish, which that parish, if it is too big, they said we talk of a minimum of at least 2 kilometers, a minimum 2 kilometers for somebody to access a polling station. Now that we are doing this kind of mop-up and helping. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Naluyima, Honorable Rusakero, Honorable Nyeko.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we are so grateful that this matter is being considered now, because right away from the word go, we raised this matter. And first of all, to react to the minister's statement, it's not true that Wakiso district has been considered at sub-count at parish level. No, not all. And a town council like Chengera with over 330 residents is having only 4 kits with 10 parishes. A sub-county like Kachiri is already having 1 kit, and this day it's still existing, only it's having 1 kit. So, Mr. Speaker, the problem is really big, and it is disturbing that we have the deadline still maintained, because in his statement, he has not committed that government will be extending that date. It will be extending it from 20th February, and then it will be extended from 20th February. No, he has not committed, and he has really elaborated that we have technical problems, we also have human issues. Where are we going to be as a country when many of our citizens really want to fulfill their constitutional mandate, but they are being failed? We also want Electoral Commission, through our minister here, to really inform us why are some people missing this day. They voted. I have councillors of Chira municipality. They voted and they were elected. They were in the register. They have tried out the system. It is not anywhere reflecting their polling station. What has happened? How did the Ugandans disappear from this register? And where is that commitment that they will be back and they will be able not only to stand as citizens, but they will be able to vote? I have enough information to add and to attest to what I'm saying and what really is happening, especially take a district like
ne Uganda olemwa bali ku nsonga za ggwanga amasannyalaze go gagenda gakifudde ekyalugenderezo Parliament evaako amasannyalaze. How can this happen? Wano ekifo kyano nga tekivaako amasannyalaze ngo gabeerako eva gavaako gaba galazeewa.
Wakiso, I just don't go there. I'm part and I'm checking on a daily basis what is happening. A village like Kasokoso has over 10,000 residents and over 6,000. They want to vote, but now the kit is only based at one place. When shall we wait for these kits? And how comes after 5 years, the country is not ready to ensure that it has enough for this exercise? I want to appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Rusakero.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for the statement. Unfortunately, I didn't hear much of the emphasis on how best we are utilizing the e-verification system. I've actually tried to sample it from the house here. It works. You go to the portal of the Electoral Commission, you just put your NIN on that, and then it will bring everything. And unfortunately, I know there are many Ugandans who cannot afford this, but there are also quite a number of Ugandans who can actually use this. So can we promote both? Unfortunately, also on this portal, it doesn't give provision for ticking. Because what I know is once I have verified, it has to be ticked on that register. So there's no provision for this. It still doesn't actually make, to ensure that my name actually remains. Secondly, my biggest disappointment has always been we have so many entities and departments doing almost the same work. Why can't we have one system that works for all, really? You go to passport, they are asking you for the same information. You go to NIRA, they are asking you for the same information. Now EC is asking you for the same information. Why don't we just, as a government, come up with one system that will work for all of us and save a lot of time? As I finalize, Mr. Speaker, I am disappointed that we are never ready for our processes. We have a whole ministry that is in charge of planning for this country. We knew that there's going to be election after 5 years. Why can't we have the machines that are enough? Why can't we deploy people as opposed to making people suffer all the time? It's going to make this process very, very cumbersome, and people will fear to vote. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Nyekode.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my concern is on the PSOs. In areas where we have a very high population, like Kampala, a parish has around 20,000 residents. But then you will find that the PSOs are nowhere to be seen. PSOs who would be located at the station where the operation is being taken place, their phones are off, they are nowhere to be seen. They actually are not known because these are not offices. They're supposed to be giving security intelligence, not offices that are known to everybody. So this is work that should be done by LOCs, not the PSOs, because they do not have a particular location to be found. The other second concern, Right Honourable Speaker, is for Kampala, for the case of Kampala, with a very high population, where we have a parish that has 20,000 residents, just one parish equivalent to a sub-county, or even equivalent to some of your districts and constituencies. We cannot have one machine in operation. It is really unfair, and it cannot accommodate the number and the residents to be worked on. So this is something that you need to revise to see that at least in every 2-3 zones we have a machine in operation so that our people can get to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Numbers, Honorable Chivumbi. Now, honorable colleagues, all of you are catching my eyes.
Thank you.
But just wait, honorable. But the problem, I can only pick one at a time. Okay? So, but I can even start from there. I say, Chirumera, Nekarit, Katsave, Kamuntu, Pindi, Kuneira, Raube. So I continue like that. But it doesn't help. So, just what we do, take your time. I'm giving this enough time. Honorable Numbers.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm not joining my colleagues in thanking the Minister because, one, the Minister was moved to come here, and I don't know why they don't deliberately give information to this House, and two, the report he has given, the statement he has given, is full of misinformation and wanting. Mr. Speaker, sir, at most, in my opinion, a kit should be at the polling station. Because when you think about a parish, this is people will require money to travel to those places. And two, they have 2,700 kits for 10,595 parishes in Uganda. From those two figures, Mr. Speaker, you just realize that this is just a drop in the sea. Mr. Speaker, it's not true that each parish in Mukono has been given a kit, and then we have even been given more. The fact of the matter is that each sub-county in Mukono has been given one kit. And for sub-counties with, say, 10 or more parishes, each parish is supposed to be with the kit for only one day. Am I safe? SFC. The CDF said you will beat.
Honorable, you are very safe.
I'm safe.
Very safe.
You see, Mr. Speaker, the CDF had promised to come for people on my committee, so I had feared. Okay, now it seems I'm safe now.
Also, that one had to pass. Eh? You had to find a way.
Mr. Speaker, the fact of the matter, Mr. Speaker, also, is that our people go to look for those who are seeking to register for the first time are told to look for the GISO for the clearance. But they charge them 10,000 shillings per person. Two, people transferring from one polling station to another or from one area to another are supposed to carry with them a letter from the LOC ones. LOC ones are charging people up to 5,000 shillings for the transfer letters. In my area, they have been charging up to 5,000. But from colleagues I hear, they charge up to 30,000 shillings. So, Mr. Speaker, an election is not rigged on the day it is casted. Elections are rigged through the full process. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to inform this House that, for example, the Electoral Commission is using the census of 2014 to determine the constituencies and even to prepare for the elections. To them, the census of 2024 does not exist because, as they have said, the results are not fully gazetted, Mr. Speaker. So we are in 2025 preparing for an election of 2026 using information of 2014, a decade ago. Mr. Speaker, can we continue from what colleagues from the other side have submitted, and so far from what has been coming from this side, it shows that the whole exercise is already messed up. Mr. Speaker, I would therefore suggest that this House takes control and gives guidance to the Electoral Commission, first of all, to stay the rolling out of programs until they are clearly prepared for for these exercises. And we forget anything to do with the deadlines, because when you create a deadline and you don't have the material on the ground, you create a rush. People are rushing because there is a deadline. So we find people piling at parishes. The machines are not there. Where they are faulty. Where they are working, there is no power. Where they are using batteries, the batteries are on and off. So, Mr. Speaker, these people are not ready, and I want to move a motion without notice that this House resolves to guide the Electoral Commission to start the exercise until they have fully prepared for it, Mr. Speaker, including allowing the people who are in charge of the census to gazette the results of the last census properly, so that we can organize for an election basing on the true population of this country. I beg to move.
Honorable colleagues, motions without notice are provided for under Rule 59, and a motion of this nature under Rule 59 1K should be in the opinion of the Speaker that this is an emergency, and but to me, in my opinion, it's not, and therefore I'm not allowing the motion. I just want us to have a debate, okay? Let's have a debate with the aim, and most of you, the way you're submitting, you're aiming at improving the process. A very good example. The other day, the Minister for Internal Affairs was here. He said they are ready with the new kits of NIRA, okay? He said they are ready to roll out with the new NIRA kits. Now, what we should be asking is that Minister of Justice works with the NIRA to ensure that they have more gadgets now on the ground. And these gadgets are new, the ones of NIRA. They said they've secured. It was just last week when the minister was telling us. So we see a way of government building synergies to make the exercise better. Otherwise, time is not on our side. Election time has the statutory deadlines. We are going to say we stop the exercise. They first go and prepare. And you find yourself reaching election time. They say we continue with the election without voter register update. Okay? So let's see a way of... I had allowed Honorable Chivumbi.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Right Honorable Speaker, you've just spoken of equipment of NIRA. When we were procuring equipment worth $100 million for you, boss, the justification in the budget committee was that after the census, those same equipments will be passed on to the Electoral Commission to prepare for this election. The question is, where did these equipments go? Which we spent $100 million US. Second issue, I was the shadow minister for internal affairs then when we were making the NIRA Act. One of the core justifications for NIRA to even become an authority was that it will become the one center for data collection from which all government agencies will feed on. And one of the key primary beneficiaries was supposed to be the Electoral Commission. That going forward, every time to upgrade the voters register, they will just go to NIRA, download just by a button all those that have clocked 18, and they know where they come from, and they produce a voters register for citizens to verify. Now they are shortchanging citizens, telling them, please go and register afresh. For how long will this country be taken for a ride? Lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, I had a consultative meeting, a rally, on Friday in my constituency, and the leader of opposition was there. Citizens complained about PISO, demanding from 5,000 to 30,000. The question is, what's the role of PISO under the law in this exercise? So we are asking, should somebody investigate the role of PISO, which is emerging across many contributors here, where they are demanding a payment to stamp for these young people who want to go and vote. And we are talking about some 4 to 5 million young people who are first-time voters, whom I think, and I want to imagine, somebody out there may be deliberate in defranchising them, because the fear is real. When you have an 8-year possible candidate, he fears younger people. And that's a given, and would work towards defranchising. Let the young people determine the leader they want to lead Uganda, not an 8-year-old man defranchising wananchi for non-registration. I beg to move.
Thank you. Chairperson Legal. Motion? Just a motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to move a motion for this House's consideration, a motion without notice under Rule 59. Right Honourable Speaker, when you listen to the members, the issues being raised are similar in all districts, in all constituencies. The issue of the faulty equipment, the issues of distance, the issues of charging money, the issues. So, Right Honourable Speaker, and we don't have the Electoral Commission here to actually answer. Right Honourable Speaker, I am moving a motion that this matter be referred to the committee, and the committee be given 2 days to interface with the Electoral Commission and other officials, and then come here, bring a report for us to debate and make clear recommendation. Otherwise, short of that, Right Honourable Speaker, this is a statement where the minister, we shall speak, and these matters will simply go. So, Right Honourable Speaker, I move under that rule that let us be organized as a house, that we give this matter to the committee to interface with the relevant agencies, NERA, the Electoral Commission. Why can't we use the NERA registration? Most of the children who are 17 years now have NINs. So why can't we use the data from NERA to actually have these people registered?
But now,
so, Right Honourable Speaker,
you're submitting.
Yes, I'm saying that I move a motion, Right Honourable Speaker, that the House considers referring this matter to the committee, and the committee be given 2 days, so that we can debate a report with clear recommendations. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Now, this is a motion where I don't just put a question. It's my opinion. Yeah, but 2 things. Number one, you know, when we have such a statements, the honourable colleague who raised the question should be given an opportunity to speak first. But because it was a leader of opposition, I told him that we agreed that he waits because there are issues which might come, and as leader of opposition he needs to speak. So if I take up this motion now, I would have denied him an opportunity to comment on something he raised. That's number one. But number two, when such a controversial issues come, the speaker is supposed to guide at the end, because the statement does not have a provision for a resolution of parliament. So the speaker guides at the end. So it would be really unfair if I just pushed it to the committee without first listening to colleagues on these issues. Yeah, but I really appreciate Honourable Saropendi what he had read. So I had allowed the chair.
Thank you.
Committee on Legal Affairs, followed by Honourable Kro, then the Shadow Attorney General, Honourable Mujuti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
yeah, independents, I'm going to also have them. I have a procedure, Honourable Naomi. Yes, procedure, Honourable Naomi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. Wouldn't it be procedurally right for us to first hear what Honorable Chivumbi has just raised, the question, and reminded us of what Parliament passed, especially in the budget, and now it has not been fulfilled? Wouldn't it be procedurally right for us first to listen to what happened to that before we even continue hearing from each other? What happened? Because this is Parliament that passed it.
No, that's your question.
What Honorable Chivumbi
Yes,
raised?
I get you. I get you, Honorable.
Let's first get the answer.
Yes, I get you. But you see, I've picked very many critical questions. Now, in the interest of time, I felt the minister should answer at once. Otherwise, an issue will come, we say this is critical, first answer. This is critical, first answer. So let's
Thank you.
Let's first listen to Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, without prejudice to the issues raised by members, the issues of the fuel kits, issues of power, which is not in many parishes, and the issues of the delays, without prejudice to all those issues, Mr. Speaker, I raise up to also inform colleagues and this House that the Electoral Commission is working under very difficult conditions, and also implore colleagues that tomorrow we shall be handling the budget framework paper. The Electoral Commission has not been funded for phase 2 and phase 3 of the 2026 general elections, of which this verification is in phase 2, but they have not been funded. They need 450 billion shillings to be able to handle phase 2 and phase 3. I rise up, Mr. Speaker, to implore this House that we must speak together as a voice of this House under Article 66. We have an obligation to ensure that the Electoral Commission is well funded and adequately to handle their mandate under the Constitution. And therefore, as a House, Mr. Speaker, tomorrow, as we handle the budget framework paper, we must raise up collectively to ensure that we make recommendations that give the effect that the Electoral Commission is funded very well to be able to deliver a credible election in 2026. Other than that, the Electoral Commission, colleagues, is not funded, and we must fund it as an obligation of this House under Article 66. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I had picked Shadow Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having read the Deputy Attorney General's statement, I should have moved at the earliest that we throw it out because it does not give us solutions. And all of us are lamenting, and his statement is also full of lamentations and contradictions. Mr. Speaker, we have over 30,000 polling stations. And the statement of the Deputy Attorney General says they required 5,000 kits to serve over 30,000 polling stations. The statement is talking of registration at parish level, and yet we know we have over 10,000 parishes vis-a-vis the 2,700 kits. So who is actually telling the truth? The statement is talking about technical teams to troubleshoot whatever comes wrong with the computers. It has not even mentioned how many people are attached to the 2,700 kits. And it's not giving us the solutions to the kind of challenges we now have. Yes, I know the budgetary issues, but as Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi said, where did the kits we procured for census go? Where are they? And they were per village. So where did they go? So I would move members that we reject this statement and require the Attorney General to come back with a clear statement giving us the solutions to the issues members have raised. I beg to move.
Thank you.
I want to sincerely thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity and to catch your eye. Right Honourable Speaker, the concerns of members are very clear and very loud. When you look at the distribution of the kits, personally, if I look at my county, I have a town council and a sub-county. Usuk and Usuk Town Council and Usuk Sub-County are only having one kit, running a town council and a sub-county. So we find that it becomes very challenging. I think we should give this, I want to appeal to my senior colleague, the Attorney General, and government, that we need time to do this. I know electioneering process is like a vehicle already in motion, but we need time to do something good, because we do elections once in every 5 years. So let's give this matter. This is one way we determine the issues of leadership. One way actually to disenfranchise people and deny them the right to participate in elections is through some of these exercises. But I want to quite differ from the averment that it could be an indicative planning that the 80-year-old is disenfranchising. Who knows who that person will vote? Nobody knows. My senior colleagues here, the lawyers, know that in law, they say not even the devil knows the intent of man. So we can't know who they were supposed to vote, so we cannot attribute blame to an individual, yet it's an exercise that we can embrace. So I want to appeal to all of us as colleagues that election knows no party. For us to have a clean register, let all of us are interested parties. Whether you're in opposition, whether you're in NRM, we want everybody registered and participates in the exercise. I beg to submit. Then lastly, Right Honourable Speaker.
No, you've already submitted. Honourable colleagues in the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of councillors from Pabo Town Council, located in Clark North Constituency, Amuru District. They are represented by Honourable Akol Anthony and Honourable Lucy Akero. They've come to observe proceedings of this House. Please join me in welcoming them. Thank you. Thank you. Lop. Let me first hear from Lop. Yes. Yeah. Let me first hear from Lop.
Honourable Speaker, perhaps if you'll allow me 1 minute before I respond to the statement, Right Honourable Speaker, to raise a matter of our rules, but also to seek your further guidance, because, you know, even as land friends, we keep guiding each other. Honourable Speaker, you quoted Rule 59 in response to a motion moved by Honourable Betty Namboze and Honourable Sarah Opendi, and you said Rule 59, which provides for motions without notice, and you referred us to 59K, a motion which in the opinion of the Speaker is a matter of emergency. And you said that for any of these motions, it must be moved as long as, in your opinion, it carries the day. Honourable Speaker, I would like to respectfully disagree with you, sir, because Rule 59(1) says, the following motions may be moved without notice, and it provides for different kinds of motions. K is only one of the motions that can be moved without notice. That is motion which, in the opinion of the Speaker, is a matter of emergency. So it's not true that any of these motions can only be moved as long as, in the opinion of the Speaker, it's a matter of emergency or carries the day. That's my interpretation, but like I said, I seek that you guide further on this issue, and then I proceed, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Now, honourable colleagues, it depends on how you present your matter and how you qualify your matter. Okay? If you want us to adjourn debate, for example, under which Honourable Sarah Opendi was moving, it means I will adjourn debate, maybe to tomorrow, maybe to another day. It's me interpreting. I'm the custodian of rules. Yeah. So, okay? Now, if you are saying no, refer it to a committee. You are telling me to send a matter to a committee makes a report, a new report comes here, they present it, we debate the report and come up with a resolution, which is different from a statement that doesn't require a resolution. Okay? So that's how I interpreted it, Honorable colleague.
Honorable Speaker, yes, I do see that further guidance of yours, but you see, according to our rules, when you proceed further 60 and so on, a motion, actually, the Speaker has limited space regarding a motion. For as long as a motion gets to be seconded, and it has carried majority members, the Speaker actually cannot stifle that motion. That's according to our rules, sir.
So this motion, the motion of Honorable Sarah, Honorable Pendi, I would have proceeded under what rule?
Rule 59, sir.
It's 59 what?
Procedure,
we have 59.
They can give further guidance.
No,
mine was actually...
Just Honorable Rob. We have 59.1, okay, which starts from A to O. We have 59.2. Now you are saying 59.1K is redundant. Okay? So now what I'm saying, I have interpreted Honorable Sarah's motion, a very good example. Okay? And my interpretation is simple. This is the statement provided for under Rule 52. On a statement, you don't make a resolution. Very clear? Honorable Sarah Pendi stands up, says, refer the statement to the committee. The committee, listen, 59C is motion for adjournment of debate. Adjournment, you have not concluded debate. You're just adjourning debate. So you are sending me to the committee. A committee will make a report will come here. We adopt resolutions from the committee report. So, but anyway, that shouldn't derail us. Our chairman committee on rules is here. Maybe I have chairman committee on rules, let him guide.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable
just
Speaker.
chairman committee on rules, wait a bit. Let me listen to Honourable numbers. You can guide together.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the point of procedure I want to raise is to assist those who will read this answered when it finally comes out. Mr. Speaker, you overruled a motion that had been moved and seconded on the grounds that you did not consider it to be an emergency. But the reasons you gave were indicating that in fact this is an emergency because you said we don't have time as a country, the elections are very important, they are the doorsteps, they are constitutional days, and you were pointing at emergencies, why this is really an emergency, and then you were ruling that we cannot move a motion basing on that, on 59K. So I just want to be guided. How will this be reconciled when people get to read the answered? The ruling of the speaker who is disallowing a motion seconded, consider giving reasons that it is not an emergency, him coming out to say, I'm doing this because this is really an emergency.
Thank you. Number one, the motion was not seconded. Because for it to be seconded, I must first allow it. So I just want that one to be very clear. Shouting around that seconded is not going on record. When it is seconded, I call for the seconders and they go on the record of Parliament. That's number one. Number two, honorable colleagues, we have just picked 3-4 colleagues. For you, after submitting, you want suffocated debate. You don't want others to debate. When others were standing up all over, because if I had taken it at that time, all these people wouldn't have spoken. They came, they want to speak, including Rope, who raised the matter. Okay? Including Rope, who raised the matter. He wouldn't have spoken at that time. Now, I would have been unfair to a member who raised the matter. Okay? You get it? So, then number 3, honorable colleagues, number 3, Rule 59 has an elaborate number. There are motions which are not in my opinion. Motion by way of amendment to a question already proposed by the Speaker is not in my opinion. Motion for adjournment for purposes of discussing a definite matter of urgent public importance is not in my opinion. Motion for adjournment of debate. Motion for the suspension of any rule under procedure. All these are not in my opinion. I'm instructed. Okay? Okay? But then I must be very, very cautious and we strike a balance. But honorable colleagues, this is a non-partisan matter. I'm hearing both sides. Okay? I'm hearing both sides speaking the same language. We have a problem. So I would request really that we remain focused and we sort it. But I had allowed Chairman Committee on Rules to
thank
guide
you very
further,
much, Right Honourable Speaker.
and then we continue.
First of all, emergency does not necessarily mean that it is not important. Or important does not necessarily mean emergency. A matter may be important, yet it is not an emergency issue. And this matter is quite important. And I'm sure we all acknowledge that. However, I think, Right Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Saropend did a disservice to this House. Other than bluntly saying I move under Rule 59, you would say I rule under Rule 59(1)(c), and if it is C, it is pure about to adjourn the debate to another date. All. And the same debate. But once you bring in other issues, then it ceases to be debate. Because the most important aspect of her motion was to refer the motion to the committee, not pure adjourning. The only rule which is relevant to this should have been only under Rule 59(1)(k), where the Speaker must determine that actually it is of emergency nature, and therefore it should proceed. I hope I get that. I get myself clear on that. And therefore it should proceed. But this is all different. So, in my view, since I don't see where the controversy is, do we need a thorough debate over this matter? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because the credibility, the integrity of any election starts with the register and registration. Colleagues, you will be the one crying foul if there is no integrity with that register. All of us, whether you are pink, purple, yellow, red, it doesn't matter. We all need a credible register and a credible process. However, Right Honourable Speaker, what is the end of this debate we are having now?
That's what I must guide
Where
on.
is the end?
That's what I must guide on.
So, we now need guidance of the Speaker, because that is within his power. To say the way the debate is proceeding, we might need a process that will give solutions to the challenge we are having. And maybe, Right Honourable Speaker, I plead with you, guide now.
Thank you. Honourable colleagues, I had wanted a rope, okay, as a mover, as the one who raised the question.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Yes.
By the way, for the record, I was not at all in support of Honourable Sarah Pendy's motion, at all. Because it is important that this debate gets to run through. I was only saying, let her not be knocked out technically, that at that point, we would have subjected her motion to secondment. Of course, she wasn't going to have anyone seconding, and then would throw it out. But Right Honourable, let me proceed quickly, Right Honourable. Firstly, I want to thank the Deputy Attorney General. Everyone has been lambasting him. I want to thank you, sir, for coming with a statement. I disagree with the content of the statement and so on, but the fact that you have brought a statement, credit to you, because you see, many times, this front bench here, members across, by the way, opposition, government side, raise issues, ministers promise we are going to report back, and they never do. So I want to thank you that you have come back, but also that he followed up with me. He reached out to me and asked that I list for him the concerns that I raised here. The challenge, though, is that he did not address the issues that I put to him when he reached out. But still, I thank you that you reached out. Right Honourable Speaker, The biggest disagreement I have with the Deputy Attorney General, he concluded his statement by saying the activity is going well. It is not, my brother. You have had colleagues who are raising concerns. So that was your number one undoing. This process is not going well. That's why we are raising these concerns. Inadequate awareness. Honorable Speaker, the Electoral Commission put out a call in October last year of expression of interest to conduct voter education for the 2025-2026 general elections. This was 14th October. And many stakeholders did apply, civil society organizations and so on, to support the voter education process. But the Electoral Commission has to date not accredited any of them. And yet the Electoral Commission is saying we're using our limited resources to do a few talk shows here and there and that kind of thing to create awareness. But you put out a call to be supported as the Electoral Commission. And here is the letter, signed by the Secretary to the Electoral Commission, 14th October. Why was this call put out? Because the Electoral Commission knows it does not have full capacity across the country to do voter education. And the election process is a process, like I'm saying. It's not just on election day. So I don't know why the Electoral Commission put out this call. Many stakeholders applied to do voter education, and it has not given them feedback. It has not accredited them. It's as if to say that the Electoral Commission is sufficient in and of itself, and yet it is not. Maybe they need to help us understand why. Honorable Speaker, LCs, GSOs, DSOs, previously one of my concerns was, why are we having all of these? Maybe LC, yes, but now GSO, DSO, HISO, what role do they have in this? They are not known, by the way, by most people, and they also don't know most people, which is in contrast to an LC, because LCs, they know their people. Why are we bringing in all these people? And now they are bothering the population, asking them for money. 10,000 shillings, 20,000 shillings if you need a recommendation. And people cannot afford, many of these, especially the young people. Somebody has just clocked 18, they're still in school, they're even looking for pocket money because they're going back to school. Now you, a DSO, a GSO, you are asking them to give you their pocket money so that you recommend them. It is not acceptable. Honorable Speaker, there's a lot of information asking. With your permission, I don't know, you will guide, sir.
Information on the
Honorable Speaker, I'm looking at you, sir.
Honorable colleagues, you know, you have very many statements which you want us to sort today. Okay? Yes, so, please, just wait for my guidance. Let Lob finish. I want to give guidance. Yeah.
So, the Deputy Attorney General's statement did not include that element. Even to say you're going to follow up this matter or task the Electoral Commission, because it's happening all over, and you can hear it is on the NRM side, on the opposition side. People are saying their voters are being asked for money to get recommendation. This is totally unacceptable, and it has got to be nipped in the bud. Honorable Speaker, the process has not commenced in many places, including here in Kampala, where the Electoral Commission is headquartered. So I'm now thinking about deep rural places. In Abim, I am thinking about Bupadengo, Moyo, deep in Kabale, and so on and so forth. It is the worst of situation, because if in Kampala here, and then the Electoral Commission told us that Kampala was given a bit of special attention, that more kits were distributed in Kampala, which is also not true. Honorable Speaker, I was just given information by one of my colleagues, the Honorable Susan Mugabe from Buvuma. In most of these island places, and by then not just island places, there is no electricity, so these kits cannot operate. There is no connectivity at all. They are meant to print these forms, many forms. They don't even have where to print them from. But the Electoral Commission is saying the process is moving on smoothly. No, that is not true. Honorable Speaker, I think it's important that government concedes there's need for more time for this exercise, because we all want it. It's good for all of us, for our democracy. Let's increase the number of days, because there's been glitches. Up to date, many places, the exercise has not commenced. We need more time for this process to be a free and fair one. Honorable Speaker, for an election to be a free and fair election, it is not just on D-Day. It begins with a process. When people feel they're being disenfranchised, the young people, you're locking them out because of all these different quandaries. That's not a free and fair election. Can we increase the time? And Honorable Speaker, I don't know what your guidance is going to be, but I would like to move a motion without notice under Rule 59 of our Rules of Procedure that Parliament urges government to extend the duration of the update of the voter registration process by maybe 2 months. It's important, and well, government can suggest whichever period, but I think what's important is there's need to extend this process because so far several days have moved, the process hasn't commenced in many places. So now on 10th February, the Electoral Commission is looking forward to announcing we have stopped the exercise. And yet the kits won't have reached some places. The exercise won't have been carried out. So I'm hoping that government will find it relevant to extend this process without even Parliament having to urge you, push you around. Find it important to extend this exercise and then sort out the sticky issues. Because you can extend the time and then the sticky issues remain and the complaints remain apparent. Thank you, Right Honourable.
Thank you, Rob. The same motion falls under 59(1)(k) and it doesn't qualify. It doesn't meet the threshold, according to me. Honourable colleagues, let's look at this. We've had issues, okay, which are going even beyond the Electoral Commission. We have questions from UBOS. You came, you told us we procure these expensive kits. They are going to be used. Where are they? Why aren't you deploying them? We have NIRA, okay, where you said you're starting this exercise, the kits are ready, and they are going to also be helping in voter registration. We are having very many issues here and there, which I believe the Attorney General here will not sit down and answer and comprehend fully. Now, the problem also with these statements, which are provided for under Rule 52, I have only 1 hour maximum. Okay? Maximum. And this maximum 1 hour, we've already even exceeded it. So, honorable colleagues, I'm going to guide that we refer this statement to the Committee on Legal, and the Committee on Legal meets, among others, NIRA, UBOS, and members who have issues would want to raise them can go in, but I'm sure the issues which have been raised here are universal. Okay? No, I'm saying among others. I added on I just added on NIRA. NIRA is under Internal Affairs. I've added on UBOS, which is under Finance. Okay? Internal Affairs, and then Electoral Commission should be the one to explain the role of PISOs and GISOs. How did it allow them in if they were invited? Okay? And, Honorable Chair, we can do this tomorrow and Thursday, and then on Tuesday, because for a report, we can debate even for 2-3 hours. And then, Honorable Rope, this will give us even a better resolution. You see, a resolution just urging, you're putting it into someone's hands to decide. But through the committee report, we can have a recommendation that is very clear that you extend. Okay? Not urging, not begging, but we make it very clear that you extend if the committee finds it necessary and recommends. So, Chairman of the committee, you have up to Monday to provide us a report so that on Tuesday, this matter can go on the order paper, and now we discuss it comprehensively. Okay? We discuss it. You've picked the views that are needed. Next item.
Allow me to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for getting back to my point. Thank you very much.
Item 4 On the other paper,
kale byebyo ebadde mu parliament bibiriyo ku nsonga z'okwekebera enkalala z'abalonzi okwewandiisa okubeera omulonzi n'ebizibu byonna ebiriyo by'omanyi byonna ababaka babiwanjudde mu parliament ng'era ekirina okukolebwa kyakusalibwawo ng'oluvannyuma enteekateeka nga bwe zigenda okubanga zibeera katulindire olwo kigenda okubanga kiddako naye nga Uganda yo bwetyo eva gino Museveni akolera mu kubba kati ali mukola bino wasobole okubbirako akalulu abantu bangi tebagenda kwewandiisa tebagenda kwesanga mu nkalala naye nga obuzibu buli kuki ku munene omubede kuba yayagala abeerewo yayagala kufuna agenda kubba atya okitegedde abasinga obungi okwewandiisa bireme kuba liyo biberenga biberenga byabufere yagala byabufere eva mpitirawo mukavuyo mpitira mukavuyo wasanyusaga mawotyo kintu kyange basizanya bulungi nja kubba bano ne mukerera mwenye naye mbeere ready mu getting ready tulabe nga tutasensi yaffe bino byonna bikome kwateza nga abantu olina UBOS olina NIRA olina Electoral Commission bonna bakozesa ekintu eki kimu bakozesa ndagamuntu yaffe nini yaffe bona kye beetaaga naye nga mbuno tebasobola kukozesa nini ze balinawo oba kugenda mu UBOS yakamala wano ojja okubala abantu nebagala mulina abantu banina baani buli mwe alina myaka ekimaka meka nemeka kati nomanya no ab'emyaka gino bali myaka gino abo tulina obbawandiisa bano bakoze ne bawandiika okusinziira ku nkala ababali abantu ze balina ne basinzira obulumu okumuwa akakonge ke akokulonderako ne kati balina kudda mu process giddamu buto kujja mu field kyokka nga ate wano badde batugera ku mayumba gaffe bajja ku mayumba gaffe ogwani bikwatako bikyo ine emyaka emeka okolera biki ne leero bibaliko byonna byebabuuza bye bimu tukyali mabega nnyo bwe tutyo nasobola kukozesa data olwedde gwe tulina ntumukozesa ku bintu nebyanguwa kino kitwana olunaku olwo funa ofunyi ba staff bagamba kati twagala abantu bula baweze 18 abagenda okujiweza abasembedde okujiweza bonna tubagala mu Electoral Commission nwana ne banyiga age abantu bonna ne bayika tabona bali po age no basindika Electoral Commission no verify ne bagundi yawe age eno jizu ne bonna ne bajizu ne bagenda mu Electoral Commission nokubanga wano tulina ebintu abatugamba mbu bakugu naye nga si bakugu okitegedde nga tebakuguka nga bali awo nagala lefa tewali oba tugambe tebalina common sense kyaka common sense yabalakengamu nga basoma balina ebitabo bewana kuba bayinginiya okuba bamawaya naye nga tebalina kyebasobola kukola kubanga common sense waggulu ku kichwa takola nga bo balowooza eva mukubba naye nabo tutagenda mu field netukikolera wano tubajja tuwa ssente katunogenda mu field batuwe akasente tubbireko okitegeera bo balowooza mukubba nzimbayo akayumba nguleyo akayumba nguleyo akamotoka perera abaana bo batu bebabeeramu ntwaleka abaana bange ku vacation kuba kimanyi kasabibwa nga buli kimu kiri electronic ng'ogenda bugenzi ku website eya UBOS wagita UBOS ababala abantu n'okiteekamu zu age y'abantu nti abantu bali mu age ya 18 abajiwezeza omwaka guno ne bajja abajiweza omwezi ogujja abajiweza nga December abajiweza mu January bona nga bayika bisibizi n'ogamba kati click send to Electoral Commission n'ogamba abajiweza omwaka oguwedde n'osendinga ku Electoral Commission bwotyo nga kintu kyangu nnyo naye olwokubanga abatukulembera baffere babbi ne bakozesa baffere babbi ensonga lwaki tubonaabona naye nga twesiba ebbiri kubanga bo beetasiteese okubanga eva tutambuliza mwene embeera ekidongo